Welcome back to Skyward Gradebook. Let's talk about how to create an assignment. So we're going to go back to our little triple dots. Now we're going to go back to Gradebook. We have a couple of options here. I'm going to go ahead and click on Grade Sheet. Now what Grade Sheet does is it's going to show you all of the students that you have in your class. Any assignments that you've already created will list here. But we're going to go back to the beginning of this school year or at any time, and I just want to go ahead and add an assignment for a class. So here I'm going to click the Add Assignment button. There's a couple of things to keep in mind here. Your assigned date and your due date are very important. The assigned date is basically going to tell the system when that assignment is assigned. So, if it was a day assignment, as this one would be, your assigned date and your due date would stay the same. Something to keep in mind, if your assigned date or due date falls into a grading period that's already closed, it's going to move it to the current grading period. So keep in mind when you're creating assigned and due dates. Also keep in mind that the system by default after about 5 days will start to make assignments that have a due date of 5 days before they will be included as missing in your gradebook. So you may want to push those due dates back. You need to choose a category, and depending on what you teach, these categories will be different. But for this course, I have daily homework and test and projects. So I'm going to click Select. Now you'll notice on the side that your daily homework is weighted at 50%. If I go back to my test and projects, it's also weighted at 50%. This tells me that anything that I put in here, any assignments are going to be weighted at 50%, as well as the daily homework. You need to put in an assignment name, so I'm going to call this one test. You can include an assignment description. Now this is good for parents because in the family access, these assignment descriptions will let the parents know what was required in this assignment. This is a test. Chapter 1. Now down here, your grade mark scoring. I would leave these options alone. Don't worry about these. The weights are already taken care of at the district level. So once you're ready, you can either go ahead and save and enter scores, which means that you already have this assignment done, you already have student assignments in your hand and you want to put in scores. If not, if you're doing this for a future assignment, you can go and save. So let me go ahead and open up my gradebook. Here's that assignment here. And you'll notice that based on the categories, there'll be different colors. So the test here is green. So now I have an assignment. There's a couple of different ways to add grades for the assignment. I can hit Enter Scoring Mode and put a grade in. Now it's going to say that there's no unsaved changes because I need to leave this box. So until I get out of this student's box, it will not process my change. Now you'll see it turned green, which tells me that all the grades have been saved and that grades have been changed. The other way to add scores to an assignment is clicking on the name of the assignment itself, go to Assignment Details. Your second option is Score Entry. From this view, if I had multiple students in this course, I can go ahead and add their scores. If this student didn't complete this assignment, I can click here and mark it as missing. If the assignment doesn't count, maybe it's something that you have the kids do, but you're not going to give them a grade for it, you can have the option of doing a no count. For your comments, you could say the student was absent, there's corrections, incomplete, late, or retake. So you can add those as options for why a student's grade was the way that it is. But from this view, you do the same as the scoring emojis. You'll go ahead and add the scores there. Once you're ready, you can go back to grade sheet. The other option you have as you go back to your assignment is you have a mass score option. Now the mass score option will allow you to go ahead and assign a score for all assignments. If you want to do this, you also have the option of overwriting all scores. So maybe you had an assignment that you've already added a few scores, but students have returned their work, and generally speaking, most of the kids got 100 on that. You can go ahead and overwrite, and what it'll do is all of the students that are in this course will get that 100. You also have the option to adjust all scores. So it'll bump the scores up 10%, 10 points. Maybe there was some extra credit on an assignment, or an assignment you wanted to give students a second chance and you wanted to be able to bump their scores. Over here, you have the option to remove all scores, which will wipe out all of the current assignment scores. You can set all to no count. So again, if the assignment really wasn't, you're not going to grade it, you can set that there. You can remove the no count. If you have an assignment that you want a mass score is 0 and missing, you have that option. And then these two will say that you're going to remove all those missings or remove all the score clarifiers. So I'm just going to go ahead and assign all scores. I'm going to go to overwrite, and I'm going to change this to a 90. Go to save. And you'll see all of these are now set it as a 90.